Alrighty, well, hi everyone. On behalf of RJ and Julia, I want to thank each of you so much for being here this evening. I know that some of you hopped on a plane or made a long road trip to get here, and it's just a joy to get to celebrate with so many of RJ and Julia's friends and family. I especially want to acknowledge and thank Mr. and Mrs. Bradshaw for the meal we'll be enjoying this evening. We really appreciate it. So, I've known Julia for about 12 years, but we became friends in middle school when we joined the same string quartet. It was there that we first bonded over our mutual distaste for the standard classical repertoire and our love for movie soundtracks. We were also on the same page about the most attractive way to wear our hair at that formative time in our lives, tying it back in this really tight ponytail so your hair is like shellacked to your skull. But I think it's safe to say that we first connected because we found the other person really amusing, and we found ourselves really amusing, and so we could just keep each other entertained for hours on end. But over the years, as we entered high school together and spent a whole lot of time with each other, Julia became an incredibly precious person in my life. She has been someone that I look up to and admire, someone that has taught me so much. So one of the first things I admire about Julia is her confidence and joy in the fact that she's a child of God. I'm grateful for the many times she's pointed me to the love and forgiveness of Christ, and for her sincere faith, which impacts her life in very practical ways. For one thing, you only have to be in the same space as Julia for like 15 minutes before realizing that she's loves to serve people. She would theoretically feel bad to not stay after her own wedding reception to help clean up. I say theoretically because that definitely didn't happen. She's a very principled person. She's very ethically minded. If there's one phrase I associate with her, it's the principle of the thing. But she has strong convictions and she follows through on them, and I love that about her. Over the past few years, as she's navigated her path as a nurse, I've seen just what a trooper she is. Not only is Julia one of the strongest and bravest people that I know, but she is exceptional when it comes to staying thankful in the face of challenges, and that's been an amazing example to me. So all that to say, Julia has taught me a whole lot over the past 12 years about what it means to be a follower of Christ, a hard worker, a functioning adult. But the one thing Julia's shown me more than anything else is what it means to be a good friend for all seasons. For days when celebrating and dancing around the house to a song about corn are in order, Julia is the woman for the job. Life is definitely more fun and joyful with her in it. But maybe most importantly to me, Julia's been an amazing friend for when you're feeling down or discouraged. She knows how to listen, empathize, care for, and love people so well, unlike few people I've ever met. So RJ, I can say with confidence and from experience that no matter what days are ahead of you, you could not have asked to go through them with a more loving or true friend than Julia. And Julia, God has given you a wonderful man in RJ. It's been a joy to see the ways he's loved and cared for you throughout your relationship up to this point. I love that you can relax when you're with him because he's an Eagle Scout and will be able to finesse any given situation. I love that we will all have 4K footage of the rest of your life. But in all seriousness, I'm so thankful that you have someone who could be strong for you, who rises to challenges, who's creative and hardworking, and who shares with you a love for Christ and for the people he's put in your lives. So to both of you, each of you are magnetic individuals who have an incredible capacity to love and to lead by example. But together I've seen that you strengthen the good in the other person, you challenge what still needs refining, and you radiate a welcoming warmth to the people around you. My toast to you is this: may you always be so aware of God's love and faithfulness to you both, that you will always love and be faithful to each other. May you be so aware of his forgiveness to you that you find it easy to forgive. And may you always know the peace of God so that your life together will truly be joyful. Love you guys.
Thank you, Adelina. Can we get one more round of applause for our maid of honor? Thank you so much. All right. Folks, next up, it's our best man. Give it up for Alex, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, tell me RJ and Julia can throw a wedding. Give applause as well for Mr. and Mrs. Bradshaw for giving us each a piling plate at this festive feast. Thanks as well to Addie for every bit of help. This couldn't have gone smoothly by itself. And the other bridesmaids, lest I forget. Of course, our bride and groom planned much of this. This strong and stable man witnessed at work a stew of weddings from which he's clearly learned. I recall the best laid plans he and I made for our Eagle Court of Honor. Back then, we said that weddings would be cake. And now the years have gone, and we see how easy he has made it look. My name is Alexander. Well, these days, the older here in attendance tonight may call me Alex, which you will hear. But either way, I am proud to prime you on our polished groom and how I've known him. Only stories now, but let me sound the song of early days. We've been friends since birth, well, not quite, but as close as one can get. Loyal for no reason than love itself, turning and returning though far apart. He encouraged and confided in me, and I trust for you he has done the same. The summer we were 8 or somewhere close. He had passed the test, and I yet hadn't, that let kids swim the deep end of the pool. To pass this test was essential for me if I was to grow up at all, it seemed. You had to swim the length, which I could do, and had to tread 2 minutes on your own, which I was sure I surely couldn't do. He said I could if only I would turn the other way and counted the minutes while he looked at the clock. I agreed and started somewhat strong, but quickly tired and told him I gave up. Clinging to the edge, I gasping caught my breath and told him sorry, and I would try again next week. Triumphant, smiling, soaked, he told me this. He had watched the clock, but failed to tell me when 2 minutes had elapsed. 5, in fact, had passed before I'd given up. Surprise. I took the test and passed it that same day. So RJ knows we often can achieve beyond where we are sure our limits lie. His blessings have been bounty in my life, and humbly, I have blessings in return. And Julia, the joyous bride, glowing, glad, a gestalt of beauty bedecked with joy. You must have had your patience over time to deal with the rascals such as this. I've heard how hard our lovely bride has worked. A nurse, a native to nobility, compassion bleeding through each action, caring for kids 12 hours at a time, and I trust she pushes as hard on all else. To give you both whatever I can give, hardly can I extol you on the work you'll need to do. You do it already. Nor can I scold you into steep saving. You found your first home before I could even get up here and speak. But I will tell you this. Never forget. I know you both have ambitions and plans. Let your plans serve you, and don't serve your plans. Love thinks it's a feeling, free, fully faded, but it's a hard habit, wholly handmade. The grass is greenest where you water it. Just as King Solomon said long ago, I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time, yet he has also set eternity in the human heart. No one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that they may eat and drink and enjoy all their toil. This is the gift from God. And we affirm tonight these wedding words, wings to carry you as you wend your way. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. To the future they dream about, and to the love they share today. Thank you.